Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca umul kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajmain. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihilah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, so welcome to our online class today. Inshallah, today we are going to continue our lesson. So I will share with you the tutorial question and we are going to discuss that question together. Okay, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is an example on theory question plus calculation. Okay, so this is question 1. Okay, so at least today we can finish this question 1 and we have sufficient time. We are going to discuss question 2 also. Okay, question 1A, according to MFRS 141 agriculture, agricultural produce is the harvested product of the entity's biological asset. The question is, give definition of the term harvest according to MFRS 141 agriculture. Can anybody tell me what is the definition of harvest? What is harvest? Harvest is
detachment.
Yeah, answer in full. Detachment of
Produce from a biological asset.
detachment of produce from biological asset or cessation of the biological asset itself, right? Okay, B, give one example of biological asset and its agricultural produce. Anybody?
Me, sir.
Yes.
Biological asset, sheep, agricultural produce, cotton.
The biological asset is sheep. The produce is
Cotton, is it?
sheep. Sheep. Okay. We should associate the biological asset and the produce. It means the produce that is detached. So, for example, sheep with wool, right? Okay, sheep is wool. What else? What else? Anybody else? I've shown you many examples, right? What else? Cow and
Cow and cattle.
cow and milk.
Milk.
Cow and milk. Okay, then we have question C. Okay, so this one is calculation question actually. Okay, BHR Berhad is engaged principally in the breeding and trading of cattle. The company prepares its financial statement on 31st March each year. Okay, so the company's year end is 31st March. It means the company start the year on 1st April, right? So on 1st April 2017, the company owned 400 unit, 400 unit, 1.5-year-old calf, 1.5-year-old calf, 400, yeah, 100, 1.5-year-old calf. Then on 1st October 2017, 6 months later, the company purchased 52-year-old calf on cash. And then on 31st March 2018, at the year end, 3 calves were born. Then no animals were sold or disposed during the year, and the cattle measured at the age of 3-year-old. So before 3-year-old, it is not a cattle, it is a calf. Alright. So how many calf we have? At the beginning of the year, we have 400 plus 50, then plus 3. Okay. Then this is the detail about the fair value, less cost to sell per animal for the newborn, for the 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old, and also 2.5-year-old. Okay. So the fair value less cost to sell is starting from 1st April until 31st March. 1st April 2017, 1st October 2017, and 31st March 2018. Okay. Required to do, we are required to calculate the carrying value of the above animals and any gain or loss due to price and physical change for the year ended 31st March 2018. Okay. Do you remember during our class 2 days ago, okay, we have discussed on how to calculate the fair value gain because of the price and also because of physical change. So today, this is the time that we are going to discuss the answer. Right. So how are we going to start? Okay, we are going to start with the balance brought down. Okay, the balance brought down, that is 400, 1.5-year-old calf. Okay, and the value is 300 per unit. Right, 300 per unit. So because we are not in the class, we are not in the physical class, we are in the online class. So we could not show you on the board, right? So I show you here the answer, the answer for this. I can only share one file at once. In one time, okay? Only one file can be shared. So I have to open another file and close this file, yeah? So can you see here the answer for question A and B? The examples: B, sheep and wool, cow and milk, okay, timber and lodge tree, paddy and rice. Any acceptable answer? Okay, so for question C, let's go together. Okay, we start with opening balance at the beginning of the year. Okay, the beginning of the year, 1st April 2017, what the company has? The company has 400 unit of 1.5-year-old animal. Yeah, 400 unit of 1.5-year-old animal, and the fair value less cost to sell on 1st April 2017 for 1.5-year-old is 300 ringgit. Therefore, on 1st April 2017, we have 400 times 300 equal to 120,000. The opening balance of the calf, 120,000. That okay for you? And then on 1st October 2017, the company purchased by cash another 50 calf with the age of 2-year-old. Okay, 2-year-old, 50. And the fair value less cost to sell on that date is 370 ringgit. So we have to multiply 50 with 370, and the answer is 18,500. So on 1st October 2017, the total carrying amount of the calf is 138,500. Okay, so after we do that, we are going to calculate the fair value change. The fair value change during the year based on price and also based on physical. Okay, based on price and based on physical. What do we mean by change in price? Change in price means we are comparing the price for the same age. The price for the same age on different dates. The age is still the same, but the dates of comparison is different. So in this case, we are comparing the 1-year-old fair value less cost to sell, 1.5-year-old fair value less cost to sell on 1st April 2017 and 31st March 2018. So on 31st March 2018, the fair value less cost to sell for 1.5-year-old is 360, and on 1st April 2017, the fair value less cost to sell is 300. So the difference is 60 for one unit. The difference is 60 for one unit. Therefore, 400 times 60 equal to 24,000. So for the 1.5-year-old, the fair value change due to price is 24,000. Yeah. In 1 year time, the price change ataupun the fair value change due to price is 24,000. What about the 50 unit? The 50 unit that the company purchased on 1st October. On 1st October, the company purchased then 50 unit, 2-year-old. So on 1st October, the fair value less cost to sell is 370, and on 31st December, the fair value less cost to sell for 2-year-old is 380. So the difference is 10. Difference is 10 ringgit within 6 months. So now we have 50 times 10 equal to 500. So we add together for 1.5-year-old and 2-year-old, 24,000 plus 500 equal to 24,500. For this particular company, the amount of gain that is due to price change is amounting to 24,500. Are you following so far? No answer.
Oh, we got it.
And then we are going to calculate the increase in fair value less cost to sell due to physical changes. And due to physical changes, what is the meaning of physical changes? Physical changes means the change in age. The change in age. So if the animal age on 1st April 2017 is 1.5-year-old, at the end of the year, 31st March 2018, the age is already 2.5-year-old. Okay. For 2-year-old on 1st October, at the end of the year, it is 2.5-year-old. Okay. So now we can see that there is a change in age. So because of the change in age, okay, because of the change in age, we have a fair value changes. We have a fair value changes. So we can imagine an animal with 1.5-year-old and animal of 2.5-year-old. Okay, so we know that the fair value less cost to sell will be different. But how much is the difference? And on which date we are going to compare? So basically, we are going to compare on 31st March. That is the year end. So we are comparing 1.5-year-old and 2.5-year-old on 31st March 2018. So what is the fair value less cost to sell of 1.5-year-old on 31st March 2018? It is 360. For 2.5-year-old, it is 410. So the difference is 50. The difference is 50 ringgit. And how many units we have? We have 400. 400 times 50 equal to 20,000. So 20,000 is fair value gain because of physical change. Just now, because of price change, 24,000. Because of physical change, 20,000. Then we go to the next one, from 2 to 2.5-year-old. We have 50. And on 31st March 2018, the fair value less cost to sell for 2-year-old is 380. And for 2.5-year-old is 410. And the difference is 30. So we have 50 units of animal. 50 times 30 equal to 1,500. Okay, for the first two, it is not confusing. Okay, but what about the third one? The third one, there is a newborn on 31st March 2018. So exactly the year end, the end of the year, the last day of the year on 31st March 2018, there were three newborn, and the fair value less cost to sell for that particular newborn is 80 per unit. So newborn means the day before, we don't have these three. But on 31st March 2018, we have these three. So whenever the calf was born, it becomes a physical gain. And the value of the physical gain here is 3 times 80. It is equal to 240. So altogether, the physical gain is 20,000 plus 1,500 plus 240. It equals to 21,740. Okay, 24,500 is for price change, and 21,740 is for physical change. Both are gain, both are revenue. So we add together the revenue from the price change and also from the physical change. Altogether, it is 46,240. So this amount, 46,240, will be credited to statement of profit or loss as a revenue. As a revenue for the year ended 31st March 2018. So to find the carrying amount on 31st March 2018, we have to add together the figure that we have on 1st October, that is 138,500, and the fair value gain altogether 46,240. So the total is 184,740. This is the carrying amount of the CAF, of the biological asset on 31st March 2018. Okay? Any question? And we can check this balance that will equal to 184,740 also, whereby at the end of the year, we have altogether 450 units of 2.5-year-old, and the fair value is 410. 450 times 410 equal to 184,500, and we have newborn 3 times 80 equal to 240. So we reconcile this to make sure that the figure shown above and shown below is the same, 184,740. So 184,740 will be presented in the statement of financial position. Right? So second question is about journal entry. So how are we going to record the journal entry? Record the changes in fair value. We debit biological asset. It means the biological asset increased by 46,240, and we credit SOPL 46,240. This is actually the revenue for the company. Okay, class, are you following?
Hold on, sir. Yang atas tadi tu sebelum journal entry tu apa?
This one. Reconciliation.
Okay, dah dapat.
Reconciliation. So yang dekat atas tadi kita dah kira the opening balance plus purchase plus fair value gain, kita dapat carrying amount. Kemudian carrying amount tadi kita pastikan betul, kita buat reconciliation. We check at the end of the year we have 450 units 2.5 year old, and then we have 3 units newborn. So bila kita calculate, kita dapat jawapan yang sama. Alright. Okay, now I close this file and reopen the previous file to see the second question. Okay, can you see the question? Question 2. A, list any 3 agricultural activities under MFRS 141, agriculture. Any agricultural activities. List only. You remember? Okay, do you remember any agricultural activities, or maybe from the examples given during the lecture, you may find the examples of agricultural activities. Okay, would like to read to you, the agricultural activities example. For example, plantation, raising of livestock, cultivating orchards, forestry, floriculture, aquaculture. So those are the example of agricultural activities. Agricultural activities. Now, we are going to do the calculation. Here. So it is about Shawal. Shawal Farm is in the business of animal farming. A herd of animals is held throughout the financial year 2019. The only change during the year is the increase in their tribute due to aging. There were no sales of animals during the year. On 1st January 2019, Shawal Farm Berhad owns 100 2.5-year-old animal. That is on 1st January, 100 2.5-year-old. And then on 1st July, 6 months later, Shawal purchased 10 2.5-year-old animal. And also 20 2-year-old animal. Also on 1st July 2019, there were 5 newborn. So we need only 2 different dates. The first one is on 1st January with the opening balance of 100. And then on 1st July, there are 3 events. The first one is purchase of 10 unit 2.5-year-old, 20 unit 2-year-old, and also newborn on the same day. Right? The fair value less cost to sell per animal were as follows. Okay, on 1st January 2019, 2.5-year-old animal, 1,500. 1st January 2019, 2.5-year-old animal, 1,600. 1st July 2019, 2-year-old animal, 1,400. 1st July 2019, newborn animal, 150. 31st December 2019, we have a list of fair value less cost to sell for 0.5-year-old, newborn animal, 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old, 3.5-year-old. Okay, and from this information, we are required to identify, number one, identify separately the change in fair value less cost to sell of the animals due to price change and physical change for the year ended 31st December 2019. Okay. And number two, to calculate the carrying amount of the biological asset as at 31st December 2019. Number three, show the journal entry for the purchase of biological asset on 1st July. Number four, show the journal entry for the new bond 2019 for 1st July 2019. And lastly, show journal entry for the gain or loss for the year ended 31st December 2019. Okay. So based on information given, okay, please remember that we have all together 4 events. The first one is opening balance on 1st January 2019, 100 2.5-year-old. And then 1st July, there are 3 events. The first one, purchase of 10 2.5-year-old, and then 22-year-old, and also 5 newborn. So by using this information, let's prepare the answer. Okay, the example of agricultural activities is forestry, plantation, raising of livestock, cultivating orchards, floriculture, aquaculture. Okay. Ada lagi sebenarnya. Fish farming. Ya, fish farming. Apa lagi agaknya? Aktiviti pertanian apa lagi? Okay. Next, okay, we calculate B, change in fair value less cost to sell due to price change. Okay, due to price change. So we have how many events? We have 4 events, right? We have 4 events here. 4 events. Okay. I highlighted here so that we can see. Okay. We have 2.5-year-old at the beginning of the year. And then 6 months later, we purchased 2.5-year-old and also 2-year-old. And then there were newborn of 5 units. Okay, so now we are going to compare the fair value less cost to sell for 2.5-year-old on 1st January and 31st December, right? The age is the same, but the price is different because of different dates. So we can see from here, the fair value less cost to sell on 1st January is 1,500 and on 31st December is 1,650. Okay. So the difference is 150 for the first one. Yeah, for the first one, the difference is 150. 150, yeah, 150 times 100. So it is 15,000. Get it? Is it okay, class?
Okay, sir.
Okay, and then the second one is purchase on 1st July 2019. Okay, then you need 2.5-year-old purchase on 1st July. So we are comparing 2.5-year-old on 1st July and 31st December. So on 1st July, the fair value less cost to sell is 1,600 and on 31st December is 1,650. So there is a difference of 50. There is a difference of 50. So 10 times 50 equal to 500. Okay, we continue with the third one. The purchase of 20 on 1st July. The age is 2-year-old. So we are comparing 2-year-old on 1st July, 1,400 and 31st December, 1,450. So the difference is also 50 ringgit. Okay, the difference is also 50 ringgit. 20 times 50 ringgit equal to 1,000. And the last one is the newborn. Okay, newborn. The event happened on 1st July. The event happened on 1st July. So we are comparing newborn on 1st July and newborn on 31st December. So on 1st July, 250. On 31st December is 300. So the difference is also 50. 5 times 50 equal to 250. So we have 4 events together. The price change also from these 4 events. So we have 15,000 plus 500 plus 1,000 plus 250. It equals to 16,750 gain due to price change. Next, gain due to physical change. Gain due to physical change. Okay, so we have physical change here. Physical change from 2.5 to 3.5. On 1st January, it is 2.5. On 31st December, it is 3.5. And then we have the second one. On 1st July, it is 2.5. On 31st December, it is 3-year-old. And then 2-year-old on 1st July, it is 2.5-year-old on 31st December. And we have also newborn. Okay, so we calculate one by one. The first one from 2.5-year-old on 1st January to 3.5-year-old on 31st December. All right. So we are going to take the fair value less cost to sell on 31st December. So on 31st December, 2.5-year-old is 1,650, whereas 3.5-year-old is 2,500. The difference is huge. Okay, 2,500 and 1,650. How much is the difference? How much is the difference? 2,500 and 1,650. 850, right? So 850 times 100 equal to 85,000. Okay. So from the physical change of the first item, we get an 85,000 gain due to physical change. What about the second one? From 2.5-year-old to 3-year-old, physical change. Okay. The fair value less cost to sell on 31st December for 2.5-year-old is 1,650, and for 3-year-old is 2,000. So the difference is 350. 350 times 10 equal to 3,500. And then 2-year-old to 2.5-year-old on 31st December, 2.2-year-old is 1,450, and 2.5-year-old is 1,650. And the difference is 200. Alright, the difference is 200 ringgit. So 20 times 200 ringgit equal to 4,000 ringgit. Okay, so now we analyze the third one, the fourth one, that is the newborn. Newborn on 1st July 2019. So what happened on 1st July 2019? On 1st July 2019, okay, one day before, there is no newborn. One day before, there is no newborn. On 30th June, there is no newborn. So we don't have the 5 unit. But suddenly on 1st July 2019, we have this 5 unit. So this 5 unit automatically become a physical gain. And the fair value less cost to sell on the newborn is 250. So we have 5 unit newborn, 5 times 250 equal to 1,250. And we are still talking about newborn. The newborn on 1st July is 0-year-old. Yeah, newborn on 1st July is 0-year-old. And on 31st December, it is 0.5-year-old. So let's check the fair value less cost to sell for newborn on 31st December 2019, that is 300, and 0.5-year-old is 400. So the difference is 100. 5 times 100 equal to 500. Alright, so altogether, the change due to physical is how much? 94,250. So, when we add the two together, 16,750 plus 94,250, it equals to 111,000. The gain itself, the gain only, right? Now we go to the second question. The second question is to ask us to calculate the carrying amount as at 31st December 2019. So the carrying amount as at 31st December 2019, we can simply take what we have on 31st December 2019. We have 3.5-year-old, 100. We have 3-year-old, 10. We have 2.5-year-old, 20. And we have half-year-old, 5. And we multiply with the fair value less cost to sell on 31st December. That is 2,500 for the 3.5-year-old, 2,000 for 3-year-old, 1,650 for 2.5-year-old, and 400 for 0.5-year-old. And we multiply, and this is the answer, 250,000 plus 20,000 plus 33,000 plus 2,000. So at the end of the year, 31st December 2019, we have the carrying amount of 305,000. 305,000. And we can check this amount. We can check this amount. That is, we put the value on 1st January, that is 150,000. Okay, plus two purchases. The purchase of the 2.5-year-old, 16,000, and the purchase of 2-year-old, 28,000. Altogether 44,000 purchase. And then change in fair value due to price, change in fair value due to physical, 16,750 and 94,250. So when we add all together, it is 305,000. Okay, so we can reconcile actually. We can check, we make sure that the answer is correct. Okay, that's why we have two ways in calculating the carrying amount. Okay, for number 3, we show the journal entry for the purchase of biological asset on 1st July. So basically on 1st July, the company purchased there are two events. The first one is the purchase of 10 unit 2.5-year-old and 20 unit 2-year-old. So when we add together 16,000 plus 28,000, it equals to 44,000. So the biological asset increased by 44,000, debit biological asset, credit bank or vehicle. Number 4, show the journal entry for the gain or loss for the year ended 31st December 2019. Total gain is, we have calculated just now, 111,000, 16,750, 74,250, altogether 111,000. So we are going to debit the biological asset with 111,000 and credit the SOPL for gain on valuation 111,000. Okay, so basically the company biological asset increased by 111,000 due to price change and also physical change of the animal. Okay, 16,750 due to price and 94,250 due to physical. Lastly, so the journal entry for the new bond. The journal entry for the new bond. New bond also has journal entry, right? Okay, newborn is 5 times 250 equals to 1,250. So debit biological asset 1,250 and credit SUPL. Okay, on valuation 1,250. Okay, class. I think that is all for today. Do you have any question? Inshallah, we are going to continue in the next class next week. Yeah. But before that, do you have any question?
Sir?
Yeah.
Can you send the answers on WhatsApp?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Anything else? No?
So about the next week, I mean,
About the?
kelas minggu depan sebelum cuti raya tu.
Yang last kali?
Maksudnya tak, kan kelas kita tu 16
kelas
Oktober tu.
Kelas kita minggu yang kelima tu memang online lah. Dia suruh online. Sebab itu adalah arahan daripada UiTM. Takut student ada masalah untuk nak balik raya. Saya personally saya tak kisah untuk buat kelas face to face. Tapi mungkinlah awak pun dah beli tiket sebahagian dia kan. Dah beli tiket dan itulah. Saya prefer untuk face to face. Tapi kita buat online lah juga. Minggu kelima tu. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So awak boleh stay dekat sini pun boleh. Awak nak stay dekat kampung pun boleh. Problem. As long as ada good internet line lah. Okay, so if nothing else, then we end our class today with Surah Al-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri inna insana lafi khusr illa alladzina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.